And we're back. Podcast number 4 with the main beam. I'm one of your hosts, Spencer Mertens.
Brady Stockman.
Allan Rotigen.
And
Allan Retchin's in the house today.
In the flesh.
In the flesh. Home from Iowa.
Yes.
Land of the Giants.
Yeah.
First in-person podcast.
just us 3 tonight.
Yep. Everyone else is doing something for Christmas, or Adam's down in Arizona with his wife's family. So we just we got the 3 of us together here. Going to talk a little trophy talk today. I think our topic's going to be
What makes a trophy a trophy?
yeah, what makes a trophy a trophy?
Who wants to start it off?
Guess first.
Mm.
I can go. I don't know. It's kind of weird to me. I guess it depends on, a lot of it depends on just talking deer-wise, whether it's past history of the deer or, deer you've never seen, or really there's a lot of factors that go into it. But for me, what really makes a trophy is the history and the hunt for it. Whether it's a year or two. I know, when you continually build that history with them, whether you see them a couple times in one season or get 1 or 2 pictures of them, like the deer Landon killed, we got just a couple pictures of him the last couple of years in daylight. And then when I killed my deer, he obviously showed up. He ended up killing it. But, to me, that deer was such a trophy because after 3 years of hunting him, never seeing him in person, and then he kills him. That's
Yeah, I mean, but anyone killing a deer, they could say that's their trophy to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could take a first-time hunter out and they kill a spike, and that's probably, to me, when I killed my first deer as a fawn, it was a trophy to me.
And you got him mounted?
No, I should have. It was too shot up.
Spine shot. But yeah, like you said, the history on a deer, the more preparation and stuff you put into it for each deer, maybe just like say curls, for instance.
Yeah.
This is the first year I've got to put a food plot in for him, and I feel like I held him a lot more, with a little more cover in that one corner of the property, but it wasn't long enough, and I wasn't able to get him yet this year.
Well, even say like rolling into next year, obviously we're in the latter part of the season, but you've had now 2 years of history with him. We've seen him in person in the summer
Hundreds
velvet.
and hundreds
Yes,
and
like
hundreds.
literally watch him every single night. So, you say he survives the rest of the winter, goes into next year, EHD doesn't kill him, and you get to kill him next year, or even if you don't get to kill him next year and that story rides out for another couple of years, that that's just going to build to the trophy aspect of that deer when you kill it. And that's what to me what I like. There's been times where we've had random deer show up, and it's nonetheless it's not any less special to me if say a 6.5-year-old deer walks out and it's 130 inches. That deer's a trophy to me just because of his age. He's withstood EHD, other hunters passing him, whether avoided getting hit by cars, you name it.
Or shot by an arrow or bow or a rifle or
right. So just the fact that deer's even made it to maturity, or 5.5, 6.5 years old. That's part of the reason. Like pretty well, if I shoot a deer, it's getting mounted. Like it's all my deer are taxidermy just because of how much time and effort we put into it. That the trophy aspect is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What do you got to put on it, Allan? Rotigen.
So, to piggyback off of what you guys said, I mean, the memories, yes. The history is a big part. A deer that is, I'd say, 160 plus. I mean, everybody's trophy is different, but I think the bigger deer, they're all going to, I don't know, I guess.
I kind of know what you're trying to say.
Like, all the big quality deer are going to be trophies in a lot of people's eyes, they're not going to be, I guess. I don't
So
know, that's
here,
what I'm
maybe this is what you're trying to say, but this is something that just really pisses me off sometimes. And whether people, so say, we put obviously so much time and money and away from everybody, into these deer, and my neighbor hunts. Whatever, our neighbors at the farm hunt twice a year. They hunt rifle season. That's it.
right.
They shoot the first thing that walks out. Is it like less of a trophy to them just shooting, like say a deer that I've watched for the past 3 or 4 years walks out, they shoot it, and it makes me mad. Well, fucking pisses me off actually whenever they kill it and they disrespect it, or not that they have to mount the deer and put it on the wall, but a lot of people don't like respect the actual chase or the actual, as long as it took that deer to get to that age, they just, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, yeah, I completely understand. Yeah, and it's unfortunate that sometimes those kinds of people give hunters as a whole a bad rep.
Yeah,
and it's a pretty tough hole for us to dig out of, because once we get perceived as those people that are disrespectful towards game or anything like that, which, I mean, I grew up with some people that did some pretty effed up stuff to like fish, and you could do whatever you want with fish.
Yeah.
I mean, like it, like
So,
it. I don't know. It really rubs me the wrong way too.
Yeah. And I'm not saying, I'm like, even though they hunt whatever twice a year or however much they hunt, if they killed that deer and they were happy with it, that deer's deer, in my eyes, that's a trophy to them. That's super cool. But like, for example, a couple of years ago, it's been more than a couple of years ago now, it's been 5 or 6 years ago, they were literally hunting, and Dad was sitting up the hill from them. They shot a deer. It comes, it was running, but then was walking, and it's coming up to Dad. I swear, I'm not making this up. It had like the whole half of its neck was just split wide open from where they hit it, and so I mean, Dad obviously was like, I'm not letting It was just a little fawn. Yeah. So he shot it and, walked down the hill and was like, hey, like your deer walked up here, whatever. I finished it off. Do you want it? It's laying up here. And they said, well, does it have antlers? Dad's like, no, it's just a doe. And they said, well, we don't want it then. Like if you're not ethical enough to know what you're shooting at, or to say, oh, well, we shot it, we don't know what it is. And then say, oh, well, it doesn't have antlers. And say, had they tracked that, like they had killed it and actually walked up to it, would they have left it lay there?
Right. See, that's kind of, I don't know. So a lot of people just kill deer for meat, which is fine. I mean, there's no issue with that at all either.
I mean, that's how it was back in the day.
Right, yeah. There's I have no issue.
Yeah,
with
no.
It. Right, yeah,
Right, I don't have an issue with it.
Horns. Yeah, no, I completely understand.
I know people that do go out once a year and they shoot the first thing that walks by them and they're super happy with it.
As long as they're happy about it, you know what I mean? Like, and they're proud to claim it. They're proud to wrap their tag around it. They're proud to take pictures with it at least. Like,
I'm ecstatic for you. Then.
Right, yeah. And as long as you're happy about it, I'm going to be just as happy for you. And if you I get pretty irritated when people disrespect stuff. Like,
you mean like a poacher going by with a spotlight, shoots it, and oh, that's a big deer cut off the head.
That's a big issue in Iowa, just as much as it is in Kansas, like you guys were talking about.
Yeah, the road hunting is insane.
I think it's an issue pretty well everywhere you go.
Well, so I'm in Facebook on just different groups on like the Kansas public land hunters and stuff. It's insane how many people find, like bird hunters and stuff, find deer dead, and they're like, oh, found whatever this deer. If someone knows, like, if this is your deer, you can tell me the area, whatever, I'll send you a pin to it. It's amazing how many people are literally like, oh, that, like, it was shot off the road and like they just left it lay there. And I mean, there was one guy on there whenever we were out there this year, Cole was talking to us and he was like, he was reading a story. The farmer was in his field in a tractor, like he feeding cattle or something. And his grandson's been hunting. It was a big deer. It's like 185-inch deer. His grandson's been hunting it, and it was in the field while he was feeding cattle. So he was like, oh, cool, there's a deer. Someone drove up and blasted it off of the road and whatever, killed it, and then just drove off. Like,
Yeah, because if they don't see it fall, they're not gonna.
right. But still, I mean, imagine that. Imagine sitting in your stand, someone drives up, your shooter's in its field, and they just dump it right in front of you. I mean, it's it's real crappy, honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
Back to the trophy topic.
yeah. So I don't know. Me, Landon, and Dad have all been big taxidermy people for forever. I hardly ever even, other than like some ducks and geese and stuff, but I hardly ever kill anything and don't get it mounted. Like, we have people walk in our house all the time. And they're like, "Oh my god!" And like, they kind of look around and look at you like you're weird. But I don't know. Almost every, pretty well every buck I've ever shot is like full shoulder mounted on the wall. And that's just because like I said, the time that we put into it is, to me, it's a looking back on them memories. Like, you get to see it, you get to relive the memories when you go back and look at it. So to me, pretty much anything as far as buck wise I go, I'll put on the wall, because it's
Right. And like, what are you gonna do with them other than put them on the wall? You're just gonna throw them in a barrel in the shed. You're gonna throw them in the back of the shed behind everything,
right,
and like just completely just
so
kind of wipe the memory of that off.
Yeah.
And kind of.
And I mean, obviously, taxidermy is super expensive nowadays. Whatever most people paying for a shoulder mount's like $700, I think, is the average nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Some people all the way up at $1,200 for good quality work and up. So even if they skull mounted, it doesn't. The Euro mounts don't make me like mad, but
No.
it's so annoying when people kill big deer. And whatever, quote unquote, big deer, whether it's 6.5 or 160 inches, whatever you want to call a big deer, and they kill it and they just pitch it in a pile, or
just lop the horns off like the one I was after this year.
Yeah, just cut them off. Oh man.
I mean, the guy was an older guy, so then he killed it. He can do whatever he wants with it, but it was 160-inch deer, and it's like, that would have looked really good on my wall.
Just sawed the antlers off and put them on one of them little plaques. But I mean, I guess I sit here and rant about it, but that's that might be his way of displaying his trophy, which I guess to each their own. But it just, to me, if you're an actual, you're an avid bow hunter, an avid hunter at all, the taxidermy to me is just as big part of it as it is all the other work that goes into it.
Yeah, I mean, all the money and stuff you put into it. What's a $700 bill? I mean, you got to think back to all the stuff y'all did in Kirksville. If you added it up, it's well over $1,000. Hotels, fuel.
Yeah, for sure.
Seed, fertilizer. We're not in it to just shoot them and throw them to the side and just forget about it.
Right. Yeah,
we just added on to the laying it down on film.
Yeah, I have a hard time, even like now that we've got into goose hunting and stuff. I'll like every time we go goose hunting, I find a bird and I'm like, oh, I had to just take this back and have it mounted.
Yeah. Well, with Canada geese, it's kind of like,
yeah, they're kind of all the same.
They're on the poo pond out back. Shit. No, it's very difficult, especially with the ducks this time of year. They're all fully plumed out.
Yeah, they're all full.
Good.
Yeah, I know.
Because we've been shooting the shit out of divers lately, and it's been.
You just want to mount them all.
It's tough, but I mean, deer hunting's a lot different. You know what I mean?
Right.
You just develop history. You don't really develop. You go out, you set out the decoys, they come in, you shoot them. Like, you're just a part of their migration path.
Right.
So.
It's just fun. But now, even like turkeys, probably the next Rio I kill, I'm gonna have, like, how Skylar does the dead mounts. I'm probably gonna have, if I kill one this year in Kansas, I'll probably have it dead mounted. And probably the next Eastern I shoot with my bow.
What's a dead mount?
literally just hanging.
Yeah, it's like it's
Oh,
hanging
okay,
by.
They
okay.
took the spurs and hooked it on
Yeah.
a tree,
Mhm.
and the bird just down.
Yeah.
That's a dead mount.
Yeah.
They look pretty good.
No, the Skylar's that he does look really good.
Yeah.
He's-
Well, I got 2 birds in the freezer. You can try.
Yeah, he's got all of them.
Have you started on that snow goose?
No, I
No?
haven't yet.
Damn it.
I know. I need to get it done though.
Brady Stockman texted me.
No,
No.
I'm just gonna attempt to mount one goose.
Okay.
Probably epically fail and never do it again.
You're gonna put the beak upside down.
Probably put the head backwards.
Oh shit.
No, I don't know. Taxidermy to me, obviously it's an art. I mean, it takes a special person to actually be able to recreate, your memory essentially. They're recreating your memory for you. And I don't know. I don't know if I have the.
Being able to look at it and be like,
Yeah, I don't know that I
be able
have.
to remember how it went down, what it was like that morning, who you're with, who you called right afterwards. It's just nice. It helps you remember that moment.
Well, the biggest thing with mounting like a deer or something is you're pretty much putting it on the wall
Right.
to make it look like it's looking at you alive.
Yes.
And
I don't know that I would want that responsibility because to me, I feel like every deer that I took in to mount, I would want to look so perfect because, to me, I would have such a responsibility to make that whatever duck, goose, deer to look so realistic so people could relive that memory. I don't know. That's a pretty big responsibility as a taxidermist to me.
if you go over there and look at the eyes on those, like you have to get the eyes looking
Yeah,
straight.
perfect. All the clay on both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get it
They
to
look
match
cross-eyed.
is hard.
Unless
Well,
you take it to like the guy that does big country stuff.
Oh, shout out Big Country.
Shout out Big Country. He might be listening. Who knows?
He will be. He's listened to the last few of them.
Has he?
So.
That's so funny. Everyone was riding his ass about his ducks in the group.
Oh, God. It's all right.
So funny.
And that's, if that makes him happy.
Yeah, I mean if obviously he's only
more power to him. I mean,
he's only what 15?
17, I think.
Oh, is he 17?
Yeah, he's like a 6'7", probably weighs I'll cut him some slack. 275. About,
Oh, dude's an absolute
he's
corn
built different.
fed
Like,
beast. Yeah.
So he's a farm boy.
oh yeah, like he'll throw straight square bales all night.
Oh, dude's been throwing.
One-handed.
Yeah, he's been
With
throwing
his
square
feet.
bales since he was 3, probably. He's
Like
he's a
He's corn-fed.
He put his hands behind his back. He'll like bite it, throw it up on the trailer. Yeah,
Big Country's a killer though.
yeah.
I'm ready to
He'll,
snow goose hunt.
you ever need a skunk cooked up? Hit him up.
Yeah, he cooks like it doesn't matter, beaver, muskrat, whatever. Big Country cooks it.
Mm-hmm.
So funny.
But no, back to the trophy thing.
What's your, I guess, most memorable trophy?
Probably getting my wife her first deer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. I probably won't ever be able to do it again just because she's not really into that kind of stuff. But I think it meant more to me than her. But that's fine.
Right.
I was
Take
just
what you can.
yeah, I was just trying to get her to try it out, and she really enjoyed it. She just isn't a fan of the freezing cold, and that's usually the hunt usually gets pretty good when it gets cold.
And did she kill the hell of a deer for her
Dude,
first
I
deer
think-
too?
Yeah, we haven't really gotten it officially scored, but it's probably about 150 mid 50s.
Yeah.
10-pointer.
Yeah.
As
First
I think,
deer?
I think he's about. I mean, I had one picture of him that year. I think he's probably about 3.5.
Yeah, he looks like he
He's a
looks a lot
super
like
young
Deuce.
deer.
He looks
But
like Deuce without his split.
But we shot him early muzzleloader in October. I think it was 2021, I believe. It was an October morning, pretty chilly. There was the first frost, I believe, and we were sitting there. I think we left the house around 2 a.m. Got down to the farm around 4, and went out. We got out early. I don't know why we got out so early, but yeah, I was actually pissing out the side of the blind, and I looked over, and the weeds are super tall.
Where?
And what's that?
Which plot?
Oh,
like-
mine.
Oh, your plot.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Just so I knew for
Yeah,
reference.
yeah.
Right?
But
He's
no,
gonna
I
go
was just doing my thing. Looked up, was like, shit. I could just see antlers coming through the tall weeds. So I'm like elbowing the shit out of her. Like, hey, get ready because
Get
there's
ready.
a big deer. I'm like, you need to be ready right now. And when we got there, the blind was collapsed. I probably will not use a pop-up blind after this
Yeah,
year,
after this year.
because like
Right.
they either collapse.
Dude, it's hard to beat the soft sides for the price of them.
Yeah, like $500. You
Yeah.
get a nice soft side that it's
Yeah.
gonna be up all year.
Right.
And we put it up. We went back. I put it up probably a week before then, and went back the morning of, and it was collapsed. And I was like, dude, you got to be shitting me. This is ridiculous. So we set it back up, made a shitload of noise, and it probably was good that we got in there super early because things calmed down. But looked up anyway, saw that there's good size antlers coming at us, and I think it came into about 25, 30 yards, and
She
she
started shooting.
She started pounding at it. No, she shot it once, perfect shot, probably ran 40 yards and piled up.
Oh, you watch it pile up?
We could have, but I was so excited. I was
Yeah.
like, dude, that was awesome. Like,
Yeah, that's
my heart was going. I was like, oh my God, good job.
So what stands out to me on it, like whenever we came up last year to snow goose hunting, you were showing us some of the mounts or whatever. She was like so amped to be like, oh yeah, this was
No,
my
it's
deer,
like
this is
it's
my
a
deer.
beautiful mount. Like I see, that was my first mount I've actually paid for. Like, and my grandpa was paid for the other ones, which the other ones were I didn't have a job.
Sure,
And
yeah.
they were ones that were worth putting on the wall.
Right.
And so once I had a good job to afford it, so I was like, you know what, your first deer. This is the biggest first deer I've ever seen. Besides yours, I think.
Mine was,
What was yours?
140.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought it was that high fence 200.
Yeah, no.
I'm just
Yeah.
But you know, I was like, I'm gonna drop a pretty penny on this one because it's got that beautiful early season coat. It
Right.
hadn't got messed with, nothing. It was beautiful. Took it to a guy that I will take all my mounts to him until he quits doing them.
Yeah.
He does such a good job.
Yeah, he
Shout
did.
out.
I don't know how to pronounce his last name. It's like Hawks Taxidermy out of Melcher, Dallas, Iowa. HOCHS Taxidermy. Does a wonderful job. Like, fantastic. If you take your deer in there, he'll show you his showroom. It's awesome stuff. Like, he does exotics. Whatever you need mounted, he'll mount it.
Zebras.
He might even mount your family pet. I don't know. I didn't
Little
ask.
geese.
Geese.
Yeah, he'll mount geese,
We'll
yeah.
get geese.
But no, he's super
Mount my
awesome
dog.
guy. I've found myself there a few times talking to him for a couple of hours, and he's an awesome dude. I think him and his two sons run out of there. So
Yeah, that's sweet. No, it was cool because she was like, "Oh, this is my first deer," and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my!"
no, yeah,
All
I was
right.
like, I told her, I'm like, you do not know what you just did.
Right. And the coolest part about it is too, like even though, she may never hunt again or she may go sit with you, next year or whenever, even though she's not into it like we are, like it's super cool that she still has that memory to look back on. Like not only did she get to spend it
Yeah.
with you, but she, has her deer mounted up there.
And then
She's
I mean
proud of it.
that evening we went out and I had a bow tag I needed to fill as a doe tag, and she was like, we sat and watched a few deer for probably 30, 40 minutes, mill around, and you know how big the food plot is. They were probably 30 yards. They didn't have no clue we were there. She was able to sit and watch them and everything. And then finally I, stood up and arrowed one, and she thought it was super cool. It sucked
Yeah,
because,
that's sweet.
like she got to see the tough side too, because,
Yeah.
it was a doe that came out with another doe. So I shot the one doe, and then the other doe just stood there staring at it, like waiting for it to stand up. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, shit.
Right.
But she loved it. I mean, I think we'll get out again. She really liked the waterfowl. I took her out snow goose hunting.
Yeah,
She
dude.
liked
Yeah.
it a lot.
It's so hard not to love snow goose hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, snow goose hunting's the best. But
I always bring a new pair of underwear because I usually shit myself because there's like
Or,
it's something
dude,
cool
or
to
you
watch.
get shit on.
Yeah,
last
or you
year when
get
we
shit on,
when we had that big group spinning on us,
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you how many times. Like I'm gonna bring sunglasses next year. I swear.
You'll get
because,
some pink eye.
yeah, no, I'm telling you. Yeah, they might damn poop on your pillow. Yeah,
Hey, you got that nice chair now.
I know. Shout out Allan for giving me
Uh,
the comfortable chair. No, but going back to the trophy thing.
sorry, we keep straying away from that.
No, we're all right.
Well, I mean,
We
it
can
was
do
your
whatever
wife's
we
trophy,
want.
yeah.
This is our show. We can do whatever we want. But so like the NDAs, they're field to fork thing that they put on
Mhm.
every year to get like introduced like new adults who have never hunted before that have an interest in it. We got to film it, and hell, I even got to sit with two different groups of people. Aisha shot a deer. The other group of guys that I sat with didn't end up shooting anything, but it was cool. Out of 15 hunters, 10 of them, 10
I think
new
a couple
hunters.
even I think a couple might have gone away.
Yeah, a couple
Two,
got
maybe?
away, which you
mean,
expect it. You
yeah.
expect it to happen when
Yeah.
you got 15 new hunters, but it was it was all does. Doe season here in Missouri, so no bucks could be shot, but they all got to see deer. They got turkeys. They got to see rack bucks,
Mm-hmm.
and every single one of them that shot a doe, dude, you would think they just killed a 200 incher.
Yeah.
Like
It's
watching them,
super special.
yeah, watching them walk up on it, and that to them is a trophy, even though it has no antlers or something. Them walking up on it, even to me, I was like, wow, that's
Yeah.
I'm glad I got to be a part of, them walking up on their first deer, because it was literally like they just walked up on a 200 incher,
Mhm.
and it was cool, especially as many deer as we kill every year, shoot. It's nice to be able to watch somebody like just get into it and kind of relive what.
It's super refreshing
Yes, yeah, it is.
in a way. I mean, it feels good.
Yeah, it's kind of humbles you almost too
Yeah.
a little bit to like
Mhm.
watch, because
Even like when you're sitting watching the Outdoor Channel. I mean, when you see like, they take the little kids on a youth hunt,
yeah,
and even on YouTube now. I mean, YouTube's pretty much just like Outdoor Channel now. I mean,
oh yeah, dude. There's more shows on YouTube than there is
yeah.
hunting wise. I mean,
Mhm.
there's some good produced stuff on YouTube nowadays.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was definitely one of the coolest experiences
Mhm.
I've got to have this year. Aside from obviously I killed the first buck with my bow, super cool. But that definitely was another highlight of this year, was getting to watch them shoot their first deer, and all of them come in and talk about it and hang out was definitely really cool.
Did you get your girlfriend a turkey?
Yep.
Yeah. You haven't got her a deer yet, or have you?
Nope.
No. Okay.
She shot her first doe a couple years ago,
Okay.
but yeah, she shot her first turkey this year. I mean, her grandma's property, it's
Mhm.
only 25 acres. I've never seen so many toms on 25 acres in my entire life. There was a group of 3, a solo bird that she
Shot
shot. Hit,
kinda.
she kind of blew its neck apart, but yeah, it had some hooks on it. Did you ever see that?
Mm-mm.
Probably 2-inch hooks on it.
Really?
Oh
Big.
yeah,
That's crazy.
No,
Triple
we'll have to
beard.
show you the video after this.
I want to see the one that gouged you in the hand. I didn't know. I guess I
I got
think you
that
told me
video on
that
my
story
phone. I
once.
got that video on my phone still. I really wish, out of all the turkeys I had mounted, I wish I would have got that one mounted, because that was still got the big scar on my hand. But
Mm-hmm.
Your
Yeah.
hands are dirty. You can't see it.
we were staining at the shop today.
In the cancer room.
Yeah, dude. Whew. Every time everybody walks in there, they always go, "I don't know how you
Oh,
breathe."
dude,
in
I was
here."
telling my grandma, I was like, whatever you do not go back there, because your eyes will burn and your lungs will burn.
Yeah, our floor. One of the guys that lays a lot of the floor at a lot of the houses we build, he chews,
Mm-hmm.
and he, like, obviously when you breathe, I guess
Right. Yeah.
something in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever he's chewing, he goes in there, and he said it ruins his chew because he can smell it or whatever. And he said
Yeah.
it makes his chew taste like paint. I'm like, oh, that makes me feel like I'm gonna live to be.
At least
30.
Probably won't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, we hunted over there, I want to say 5 times.
Mhm.
And out of those 5 times, we had at least 3 toms in the field by 6:30.
That's pretty cool.
And
No, yeah, every hunt you had over there was
it was awesome.
like every morning we'd be hunting somewhere. I was like, oh, I know Spencer's at least going to see birds.
And the first morning that we went, she hit that one, and she's never shot a turkey before. Well, she has, but
It's been
a long time. I think the biggest thing for her was I need to get her shooting skeet
Yeah.
because
That stuff's. I like shooting skeet.
you get a bird that comes in, he may come up and flock your decoy.
All right.
I said flock. And well, he hit the Jake decoy, and he just sat on top of him, but he was facing away.
Right.
So every time he would, his feathers would stick up on his back, it'd block his head.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he'd step off and go into full strut, and he'd come back in and, jump back on it again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he got to a point where he's like, all right,
Yeah.
what's going on here?
Their heads start
yeah.
kind of moving. It was
And
hard for her to
he
follow
started
that.
bobbing
Yeah.
it, and I was like,
Hard
you got to
for
get
her to
on it.
follow
You got to
that.
get on it. And like going back to skeet, you're following you're following the skeet. So
take her straight into sporting clays.
Yeah.
And let her shoot.
Just super
Yeah.
intense. Pool.
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Just like up a log.
Yeah.
And so I think, that might have been part of the reason why she hit so low on it, because he was kind of boogering away.
Right.
And he probably wasn't 30 yards away, which is perfect for a 12
Yeah.
gauge.
I mean, yeah.
That's a range you want to be in. But, she hit it, and I think she was in so much shock that it didn't drop.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't jack another shell in there. So I'm in the video, you can see me, I'm reaching over there,
Is it a pump?
Yeah, I'm reaching over there, freaking putting another one in there, and I'm saying, come on, shoot it again. Well,
Yeah, shoot.
he ended up, flying over, and I thought I heard him, hit a couple. I heard him hit limbs,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought I heard him fall. We kind of walked around through the woods and just never seen anything. And went back there the next morning, and a group of 3-year-old or 2-year-olds just came steamrolling right in.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually think that bird that she hit was still alive, because I heard him gobbling in the same, tree location.
Yeah.
You mean like a zombie turkey next?
Yeah, he might be.
Sheesh.
He might have been. Yeah. But them 3 came rolling in, and she blew one over, and she was just, excited as can be. But yeah, gotta get skeet under her belt.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, whenever they come in, they're full strut and its head's just sitting there.
And I probably should have just said shoot it,
Right.
Right. But whenever when we shoot a turkey, it's heads up or gobbling.
Mhm.
Their necks are out. I don't like blowing all the because if had she had killed that bird, the first one,
We probably would. Yeah, it would have been
mounted
mounted
because of just how big it was. And I knew, because like when I put a camera up over there, and that was the first bird that came on camera, full strut pushing hens around, and you could just see, he would take a couple steps and his beard would bounce, and you could just see the 2 other beards separating. And I'm like, oh
Yeah, he was a big bird.
triple bearded turkey, all by himself, probably a dominant. 3, 4, however old he was. I don't know how you age a bird, but
Right.
he was.
Their breast size.
Is that?
I don't know.
No, I actually I don't. They say. I mean, obviously it has something
Right.
to do with their spurs a little bit, but I think you can't solely say, oh, look with binos and be like, oh yeah, he's got an inch and a half spurs.
Some
He's
people
4.
say like the wear on their spurs and like the length of their spurs and this and that, or like the weight. But I mean,
I
I'm
don't
sure it's
really
a lot
know.
like deer genetics. Like
Yeah.
I would. Yeah, I'd
Shit,
have to
I mean-
assume so.
Well, I mean, there's probably bigger birds on crop fields than there are, where I was.
Right.
Birds eating corn and, all kinds of other stuff compared to literally a
scratching
wheat
and eating
field.
bugs.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. Not a turkey biologist, but
Should
something
be.
like that.
maybe one day.
Going back to school. Called that. Yeah, I quit the shop. I'm going back to school to learn about turkeys.
you're all by yourself now.
He would look at you sideways.
Dude, you know a turkey mount that I really want to get? So when you walk into Bass Pro and you see them
Yeah.
like hanging from the
Yeah.
ceiling, I want to get a snow goose like that and a turkey like that so
You
bad.
could get that at the lake house.
I know.
That would
hang
be
it-
pretty cool.
Hang it from the.
I want so
big
they have like I don't know if they call it a European mount, but it's literally like a boiled skull,
Of a
and
turkey?
it looks pretty badass.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know what you're saying. They do them with like mallards and all kinds of shit anymore.
Really?
hmm
I guess I haven't seen those.
There's one guy.
I don't know if I could.
I don't know
ever
how
do
many
mallard.
people even do this, but he does just the heads of ducks. He does like
Oh,
from the heads
I
up
saw,
and the
yeah, I
shotgun
saw
shells?
something on social media. Well, I don't know if it was shotgun shells. He had literally every duck imaginable,
yeah,
just like from the bottom of the neck up.
yeah, it was pretty cool. I don't know how many people like them and don't, but I thought it was.
I have a golden eye in the freezer that I really am excited about.
How you gonna get it done?
Probably just the feet. No.
It took
just
me
get
a
the feet
second. I was
mounted.
like, yeah, I'm just mounting the feet.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I thought.
Probably
Screw
like
the
just,
rest of the bird.
probably like just chest to the wall, kind of
Flying.
Yeah.
head turned sideways. I mean, goldeneye are beautiful.
Oh yeah.
And it was a stud. I mean, Big Country shot the best one from what I've heard.
Really.
Really big one, yeah. And we shot some pretty good looking buffalo heads that are actually at the taxidermy right now from others. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Who all shot the stud buffalo? Yeah, I know that, but who didn't you shoot quite a few of them, or you just shot?
Drake shot a bunch out in New York.
Oh
He
yeah,
shot some in New
that's
York. He shot some on the Mississippi whenever they went over there probably about a month ago now, 3 weeks. And they
That's where he
those
shot
two
that
canvas back.
Yeah, he shot that canvas back.
I think he's taking the canvas back too. I'm jealous, but I want to shoot a big stud canvas back. I want to get a coot mounted.
A coot.
No, just
You could from the coot shoot.
they went crazy.
That dude. That's the only person, or not.
I don't
only
know
person.
if you saw the video. It looked like they were just like they had just aggravated a hive of bees.
Yeah.
That's how many were on the water, like flying every which direction.
It's the only time I've ever seen. What was there? 5 of them.
I don't know, however many 120 birds.
Yeah,
can fill
it
a
was.
full
They
limit.
literally shot their limit of coots.
If you go, I mean, you could probably find it on the waterfowlers page for Iowa, but
Probably so. What Drake posted on there?
I think Steve.
Steve did. That's hilarious.
It was pretty cool to see because like screw kids, dirty bastards.
I feel like it's got to be pretty hard to mount a duck.
Yeah, their skin's super thin.
Yeah.
Well, that,
Not a lot
I
of
mean, I know
people
they
do
got
it.
a lot of feathers,
Yeah,
but
and feathers because you have to, after you get it done, you have to
Literally.
layer them pretty much, layer them, make sure it.
well, just like a turkey.
'Cause
You
someone
almost
like-
have to
someone-
place every single feather has
That's
to
just like a
almost be
turkey.
placed
Yeah.
in the right.
Yeah.
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 So if you look close on a turkey, like on his chest when he's full strut,
Mm-hmm.
there's the brown feathers. They have a black line.
Yeah.
You literally have to line it all the way up on both sides of the breast.
Super tedious.
Like that's how. Like
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like honestly, I don't know that I don't know how much a taxidermist makes like that takes like on full-time turkeys, deer, whatever. But I feel like they almost don't make enough for like the amount of like work that they have to put in to make like a good tax. I'm not saying just any Joe Blow that's like, oh yeah, I'll mount your turkey, and they fucking throw it together in 20 minutes and it's rotted out in a year.
Like Drake takes his to a guy in Des Moines, and I think he has
Doesn't he?
I wonder if he has that banded. I think he has the banded mallard there. I don't think he'll see it for like 2 years.
Yeah, because he's so backed up doing birds.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
Isn't it
he's
birds
known.
only?
He's known like national.
Yeah,
Like
right. Which I mean, if you want something done right, fuck, do it right the first time.
yeah,
I don't blame him.
and especially when you like ducks are very pretty, but you can
You can mess them up extremely
they're
easy.
easy to.
Yeah,
I think it's Birds Only Taxidermy on like Instagram and Facebook.
that's who it is, ain't it?
Who?
That
Birds
where
Only.
Drake takes all his.
Corey
No.
Crothers.
Well, this guy,
Corey Crothers is who he takes them to.
the Birds Only is turkey.
Yeah, just turkeys.
Yeah, and
right.
he does some phenomenal turkey
Right.
work. I wouldn't. I mean, messing with all those feathers, that has to take hours and hours.
Yeah, we've met a guy. Well, the hunting group that I'm in, we've got a guy in that we go to. I don't want him to get too busy because then it'll take 3
He'll
weeks to
take
get my
longer.
birds back.
Have you got your bluegill yet?
No, I'll get that here in the next week or two. I'm super pumped to
Oh,
see
that's
him.
so cool.
But
I guess
Well-
that's why I've seen a lot of like ducks and stuff, like back to their feathers and stuff and hiding. Because a lot of ducks that I've seen shot, I don't duck hunt, but a lot of them that I've seen shot are just completely blowed up,
Yeah,
like
that's-
shot wise.
Well, that's Cade Galbraith killed a banded mallard today, and the only reason he's not mounting it because they shot it. Well, whatever. You take 4 or 5 guys sitting there in a blind shooting. Birds get shot up pretty easily.
I mean, the choke you have in, I've seen Drake turn a teal into ground beef. Like,
Yeah.
it looks like ground beef.
No, that's
like,
what I'm saying. I
it-
mean,
like duck goes everywhere.
Yeah, imagine a like a transmitter goose comes in or you know something, and you just blow it all to hell and can't
And
mount
like
it.
it goes off like a bomb, like a nuke.
I could make a bad joke. I was gonna it's flying through the air and just Allahu Akbar.
Oh God, you get canceled.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, we're 40 minutes in. No one's probably listening besides us, anyways.
That's right, we'll have 5 views or
Yeah.
5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
5 or 6, maybe 7, because my sister listens to him.
I'm not shouting out Haley.
You just did.
No, man,
She kept saying, shout me out, put me on.
maybe one of these days.
Never.
Nope, that's right.
Ever.
We're not doing it.
No, dude, I'm honestly looking forward to. Not that I'm looking forward to season ending, but I'm kind of looking forward to getting ready to start working on the places and getting them ready for next year. I know we got a lot of big plans on a couple different farms to try and hopefully turn them around a little bit and get them better for next year. And just stuff we've observed from whether we planted them this year and deer moved, this way or this way, and trying to get everything dialed in for next year. And I think honestly we should have some pretty stellar deer.
Pretty juicy shit.
Yeah, I think we really should. Hopefully, pick up another lease or two just in case we lose a farm or two. But
We tend to lose 1 or 2 a year.
yeah, seems like it ain't anymore. Get outbid or someone else gets permission or something. But
Or they sell.
yeah, they
2
sell
of them are
out.
sold.
I'm glad I
last
don't
year.
have to mess with that kind of shit.
Yeah, I know, dude. I'd love to own a big. Well, I'd say I'd love to. I will. Like,
I think you guys will soon.
yeah, I'll own a big farm one of these days. I'll put everything I have into it. I hope anyway. Maybe I won't.
You only live once.
Maybe I'll just
You need to buy a farm with a cave on it and then just set up shop in the cave.
and just start selling cave tours.
Yeah. This is my bed.
Come look at my cave.
No.
We'll hire Adam to go in there like he's a caveman.
Oh, dude, he could be the best, toursman.
Oh, so
You're telling me his jacked ass in a polo, some khakis,
oh yeah, he's a businessman.
or supplements.
He's got the voice of a business person. It's so funny.
Like you said, dude, he could sell paper to a tree.
Yes, it did. Well, I know a couple different people that listened to episode 1, and they were like, damn, that Adam guy, he's got a voice for podcasting, and he's got a voice for talking to people. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, he could, if you were on the line, if I was like, oh man, Adam, do you think I should buy this farm? He'd be like, he would literally do everything he could to talk you into buying it.
Right.
He's so.
I mean,
funny.
he's good at finagling.
Yeah.
This spoon is the best spoon that you'll ever put in your mouth with food.
You don't know why? Because it scoops stuff better than other spoons.
Yeah, Adam's so funny. But
What? Let's go on to your favorite memorable trophy.
oh, my favorite
When are
trophy.
you gonna get Shay a deer?
Dude, I shot a doe with her last year.
You shot it.
Yeah, no, I
Oh,
yeah, I did. No, she just wanted to watch, so
Yeah.
it was pretty cool.
I mean, that's
First time we went out, and it was a little cold. I think she wore a bunch of my clothes. But
shout out Shay.
shout out Shay.
Shout out Bay.
No, we were sitting there last year, and it was honestly, there was 5 minutes of shooting light left, and I was pretty well packed up. And she's like, "Oh, here the deer come." I said, "Oh, okay." Whatever. I shot a big doe, and so that was pretty cool. And she enjoyed it. She didn't like the gutting part so much, which I kind of expected
Should
because
have made her do it.
well, it was just me and her there. No one else was at the farm, so it was I didn't have anyone to be like, "Oh, hey, help me."
How do y'all do things up there?
I was like,
Do y'all have a place to hang them and everything?
No,
No?
it didn't have I didn't have any keys to the shed.
Do you just take them back to the hotel and hang them in the room?
No,
No,
this
this
was in
was
Tebbets.
yeah.
At Grandpa's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Didn't
so
take her up north.
So
Okay.
we were at Grandpa's, and I didn't have any keys to the house, the shed, or anything. So after I killed it, I was like, "Damn, how are like me and you gonna load this into the truck?" But it really wasn't too bad. I just had her hand me the 2 front legs, and I just whatever drug it in the truck. But yeah, so no, that was she's actually killed a turkey and a deer.
Really?
Yep,
Where
with her
at?
dad.
Oh,
When her
okay.
dad had that farm down at the lake.
Okay.
Yep. Or no, actually, I think it was when he had his farm in, whatever, a little farther south. But oh man, the biggest trophy, or well, I can't say biggest trophy. My most memorable trophy. It's got to be, even though he's not even on the wall yet. It's got to be Deuce. That was just. I mean, call it whether punching your time card or putting in the time. I put in a lot of time just either behind the camera or in front of the camera with a bow. I put in so much time hunting with my bow that I was starting to wonder, am I ever going to kill anything? So I think when it all came together, like when me and you were talking earlier at the house, like that feeling that you get when you actually do, like
It's one of a kind.
you let one loose and you literally just watch it hit perfect. To me,
dude,
not that I would never pick up a rifle again, but it makes you almost strictly want to bow hunt.
That's kind of where I'm at. I don't pick up a gun, so we hunt shotgun season in Iowa,
Right.
and I only go with my grandpa and stuff.
Yeah.
But like other than that, I don't pick up a gun.
Yeah.
I'm strictly walking around with a bow. I have no desire to shoot. I mean, yeah, I don't have any desire to.
No, yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, as soon as it happened, it's like it was a relief because, finally after, well, however many years of hunting with my bow, I finally got to kill a good buck with it.
Right.
And especially my first buck with a bow, it was a good deer. But yeah, I think that to me was probably, it was no mega giant, obviously, but it was probably the like greatest experience I've had hunting like in a long time.
Mm-hmm. And I know it's probably, special in that way. And then
Spencer I would say Spencer was sitting there filming it too. So like getting to share that with somebody was even better.
Yeah.
Well, and all the, you shoot your bow, how many hours and hours and hours and hours, arrow after arrow, and you pick up a rifle and shoot 5-6 shells, sight your gun in, you're done.
Right. Yeah, it's more of that game of you don't have to just see with a rifle. Most of the time, if you can see it, you probably can shoot it. Like
especially here, yes.
Yes, especially here in Missouri, like where we hunt, you're shooting 300, 300 yards max. Obviously, there's places we hunt you can shoot farther, but just most of the farms we sit 300 yards is about as far as you can shoot. And if you see it, I know I can hit something at 300 yards, so I'm probably going to shoot. Not everybody probably should, but that's just, I know kind of where we're at, and we've shot a lot. I've shot a lot of deer with rifles, honestly, and actually 90% of the bucks that I've killed have been with a muzzleloader.
I wish I would have picked up a muzzleloader a lot earlier than that.
I love shooting my muzzleloader, but it definitely doesn't compare to shooting a deer with a bow.
Right.
And yeah, that's got to be.
And now, like you can shoot a crossbow here, like with no, like, you don't have to have a doctor's note, nothing. Like,
I don't even want to get started on crossbow stuff right now. Aside from disabled and older guys, that shoulder problem. My dad had surgery on his elbow and his shoulder. He can't pull back he can pull back 30 pounds maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I could say he could be shooting a bow, but realistically he can't pull back enough poundage to ethically shoot a deer, in my opinion.
Right.
So, obviously he shoots a crossbow, which he hardly ever gets out and bow hunts anymore anyways. But yeah, to me, there's nothing like getting inside of that, call it whatever your effective range is, 30 yards, 40 yards is almost a poke. You got to be inside that 30 yards to feel like, oh, this
Unless
deer's.
you're Josh Bowman.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're going to shoot 110 yards in Tanzania at a gazelle or whatever the hell they're shooting out there.
With
But
a 115-pound draw.
yeah, with a 115-pound
Lynn.
homemade stick bow.
Yeah.
Shout out Josh. No, and
So
so
I will shoot a bow until I cannot anymore, and I still probably won't even pick up a crossbow.
yeah, it would be.
It'd be like with how much I love to do it, I will probably pick up a crossbow. Yes.
Oh
but
yeah,
will I actually 100% be wanting to?
No.
Probably not.
Yeah,
Because there's
Oh.
just
I'll get one of them damn things you got to pull it back with your teeth. You know what I'm
So
talking
just a
about?
normal
I'll use
bow,
a-
just,
Haven't
just hooking
you-
her teeth.
some of them disabled people or
she's
whatever.
a Adelaide.
Oh yeah, I might. I honestly, I wouldn't mind one day getting into traditional.
Like a recurve.
Yeah,
That would be
recurve or
pretty slick.
longbow.
Yeah.
You know how sick it'd be to
That'd be
shoot
pretty
one,
cool.
that 5 or 10 yards or whatever. I could have shot deuce. Like, had I actually had a longbow in
You
practice.
could have
once-
thrown like a damn you could have thrown a ninja star.
Yes, dude. Deuce was in the. I could have killed him with a damn Tim Wells blowgun. Probably. I mean, he was that close. But
Yeah.
no, yeah. Honestly, I think to me, Deuce was probably my most memorable. So, well, not most memorable, maybe aside from killing stuff with Dad and stuff and Grandpa. But as far as my proudest trophy goes, Deuce is definitely top of the list, just because of how special it was to just share it with Spencer and to actually Landon drove up with the side by side, and how the whole thing happened was just honestly perfect for
Right. And I mean,
especially-
you were able to film it.
yeah,
So.
and watch him die,
Right.
which was nice.
Yeah.
But no, so there really was no second guessing, and honestly, if I know the video doesn't have really any views at all, but if you watch the video, I don't seem excited at all whenever we get out of the stand and I'm like blood trailing him, because there's a small, not that I was upset, but there almost is a small part of you that's
Sad.
yes, because after the last year and a half, 2 years,
So
how many hundreds and call it thousands of trail cam pictures that we've looked through, and how many pictures of him and how many pattern, how many times, dude, I couldn't tell you how many times we've sat on phone calls before. And, whether I've sat on the phone with Max for hours before saying, oh, well, he did this or they did this that day. Where do you think we should go? Strategizing. And so whenever it all comes to an end, there's almost a small part of you that, realizes I'm never going to see this deer on, like, when I wake up tomorrow and check my cell cams, or the next time I come up here and pull cards, Deuce won't be on it.
right.
And there's almost a small part of you that's like, super happy that it
All came
happened.
together.
Yeah, it all came together. Like the goal we had was met, but I think that's the greatest thing about bow hunting actually, is because you're on to your next goal. You're always looking for that next deer now.
Mhm.
But yeah, whenever in the video, really, I don't look super excited at all. I mean, I even, kind of peek up out of the creek and I'm like, damn, yeah, is that him? Spencer's like, yeah, you just killed Deuce. And I'm like, even the interview, I really didn't have much to say, just because I was like, it just kind of hits you like, damn, he's never gonna,
Right.
never gonna walk past the camera again. We're never gonna like get in the truck and be like, oh, well, we didn't see him tonight. What do you think he did? And, he's doing this in the morning.
Right.
It's kind of
Yeah.
just kind of weird.
Same
And
with the fine 9.
yeah, same with the fine 9. I mean, that Landon killed, if he was here, I'm sure he'd tell you, after strategizing and doing literally everything we could, and then rifle season, first deer we see walks right up the hill straight to us, he shoots him.
Yeah.
Like, just
Because one of the deer I have, if I'm able to arrow him, if anybody is, I'm gonna be pretty. I don't know, not shook, but I'll be in the same shoes as you. Because I mean, I have pictures of him from 2.5.
Yeah.
He's 5.5 this year. Next year will be 6.5. Like,
yeah, which is, and again, that's really what leads into the trophy factor of it, is it all goes back to that history that you have built with it, whether however many years it is. But yeah, that's it definitely kind of weighs on you whenever you I mean, I told Dale last week on the podcast, like even though we didn't put in like, years and years of effort elk hunting, I know, my grandpa's always talked about going and dad's always talked about going and dad's never had the opportunity to go. Had I actually killed a bull elk, this year, I swear to God, I would have cried walking up to it just because
Yeah.
it would have meant that, that much to me that I got to do something that hell, my dad may never get to do or my grandpa may never get to do again. So that's
Or half the world will never get to.
yeah,
do.
I mean, yeah, half the people that everyone who bow hunts in the Midwest almost, you ask them, oh yeah, I'd love to go out and kill an elk. I'd love to go out and kill an elk. It seems like a lot of people want to, but
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously if Deuce was, 200 inches and we walked up on it, I probably would have been, a little more amped, but still there's always that small part of you that's like,
I think you'd be
Yeah.
surprised. I think you'd feel the same way.
probably so. We'll ask Cole McBride when he comes in here, see what he says.
Yeah.
I just, yeah, if I did, well, I mean, I guess you were younger, so it probably didn't make too much difference. But what was it like for you to walk up on a 200-inch deer?
I mean, it took me a little bit to really, I knew he was big. I knew he was in the area. I personally didn't have any pictures of him the year I killed him, but just whenever I seen him coming through the cedar thicket, and I seen the 5 on one side, and I could just see how, some of those points all, go together after I got some pictures from other people sent to me. I shot him twice. The first shot, he just took it, ate it. He had 3 does with him. He didn't care.
This is during rifle season?
Yeah, opening day.
Okay.
Yeah, he was full of testosterone. Spencer was just pumping him full of lead.
Yeah, I mean, he just stood there, and I was like, holy shit, I just missed. Why is this deer still standing here? And I jacked another one in there and hit him, or hit him again. Actually, hit him right in the chest because he was facing me, and he really didn't even. He just laid down. It was the weirdest thing. I've never seen a deer just, take lead like that.
They're tough. I don't. Deer are freaking
Oh, dude,
out of this world.
it's amazing what they can withstand.
Like, there's a video out there. Like, I don't know if it's true or not, but it's one of the videos that said he got hit by a combine or something. It's half its back.
the zombie
you can
deer?
see its damn
Yeah.
shoulder blade, and I'm like,
I
dude,
think that was a
jeez,
trail
that's
camera, wasn't it?
nuts.
Yeah.
Trail cam video.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Right.
whenever I walked up to him, it was just like, holy cow, this is a big deer.
What were you, 16?
Yeah, I turned 16 in June, so I mean,
Right.
I wasn't
Yeah.
very far, past
Right.
16, and it was like, holy, I'm never gonna beat this.
Right.
I don't think I'll ever get the opportunity, and the stars just had been aligned just perfectly, because I'm right across the river, like from where
yeah.
I am now.
Oh, yeah.
Why did I never get a picture of him over there? That's where Curls is at.
Yeah.
He beds there and goes across the river, and he came out of that same thicket.
Right.
And I don't think it really hit me until I think my cousin Zach came down and, helped me gut it because I didn't want to mess it up,
Yeah.
and we drove it down to the farm down south, a family farm, and opening you didn't even have to open the tailgate. He was, 24 and a half inches wide, sticking over the bedside.
Right.
And my dad was like, actually I sent a picture to my dad, and he was in a spot where he didn't have good service. I sent it to my uncle because it's my dad's dad that owns a farm,
Right.
and the boys. And I sent it to my uncle, and I'm talking to him on the phone. Still haven't heard nothing from my dad. I'm actually calling him, making sure he didn't fall out of the stand after looking at the picture, and nothing. And they all get back to camp, and my uncle's like, "Did you see the deer that your son killed?" He's like, "What the heck are you talking about?" Showed him, and I swear to he called me like 3 times. I'm in the middle of helping Zach gut this deer, and my phone's just going absolutely crazy. And he's like, I'm going to come home right now. I'm going to come home. We're all going to come home and see this deer. And I'm like, no, just
Yeah, stay.
we'll bring it down to there. The taxidermist is in that area anyway. So, we'll just drive down there, hang it for the night, and get up there in the morning and just take it down there and drop it off. And, as soon as we pulled in and, put the tailgate down, they started looking at it. They just they were going crazy. And that's when it really, hit me like, holy cow, it actually happened.
Yeah.
But my favorite hunt was actually my first deer with the muzzleloader. It was my dad and my uncle sitting in the same blind. I was like 9 years old.
Was it doe?
Nope, it was that 8-pointer over there, the one next to that 9.
And the one I'm looking at right now.
Which one? The 8?
Yeah, the one straight on the corner wall.
Yeah, and that was like one of my first times going hunting, and first couple times, I didn't see anything, and my uncle's like, "Hey, I got a spot, right down the road from here."
Andy and your dad were both there.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And I'm 9 years old, sitting on my dad's lap. This bunch of deer come out, and it's snowing. I don't know how it wasn't frozen to death. We're sitting in a ground blind, and he's like, "I got 2 deer in here you can shoot," and that was one of them that came out. He was one of the first deer in the field. Came in about 30 yards and just blew him away with the muzzleloader. Yeah. Yeah, I'd never shot a muzzleloader before that because they're 9-year-olds shoot a muzzleloader, blow their shoulder off. I was a little kid.
I used to love muzzleloaders anyways until this year.
Yeah, Landon's shit will ruin you.
Oh, dude. That's one of the memories. Me and him both are probably going to replay that in our head until we die, dude. That's...
I didn't expect to see the deer be that big.
Well, I knew there was another guy that we stayed with that night, and he was like, "So how big actually was it?" And I told him, I'm like, I couldn't tell you how many points it had because I didn't look at it till it was 30 yards away, and I looked at it for 5 seconds, and then he, hammered back on it and shot. And I told him, I said, I'm just telling you off of, just looking at it for that split second, it was 175. If he had junk, mass, whatever, I'm not saying that deer was 200, but he was damn close to it. 190.
If he would have had a little more height, but I'd still say he's 199 7/8.
Yeah. No, well, we can make up scores now because he's not
hopefully they
dead.
shoot him here soon.
I honestly hope somebody does close the story on him just so that we know.
Is their season closed right now, or do they still have season stuff going on?
Their rifle seasons are all done. I think it's bow season now because his wife just shot one.
Does his dad shoot bow?
Yes. Yep. His wife just shot one last night, I believe, and then I think they have a really weird late doe season, like January 15th to the 3rd, like something dumb that they shouldn't even have.
Iowa started something.
Yes, where all these antler
you can shoot
shed bucks keep getting shot and shit.
You can shoot anything over, I think it's 223. Anything bigger.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But no, so I hope someone, whether it's next year, I mean, maybe we close the story on him next year. Will we get to hunt him? I don't know. But,
probably not.
Since
you know what, since he's in there.
But, definitely once in a lifetime. Had he killed that deer, once in a lifetime deer. And I think, the deer that Landon shot this year, I walked up on, and I thought it was a lot bigger than what trail cameras actually made it look. For a mature deer.
9?
But yeah, the fine 9. Yeah. But I think it probably would have been one of the only deer we would have ever killed together that when we walked up on it, we would have been like, oh, like what the hell did
shit down both legs?
Yes. Like it would have been like, what did we just shoot type of thing. Because and Cole told us, he's like, oh yeah, he's big. Cole said he was probably 175 and that's probably, that's about what I thought when I looked at him real quick in my binos before he shot. And yeah, I'm going to tell you he was minimum 175, but realistically I'd say, yeah, probably 190, 185, 190. Yeah, just click on him. That's, I mean, obviously we talked about it in that second episode with Landon, but yeah, that's, man, that would have been, that's one of them things you replay in your head for forever. That's not something that's gonna, you're ever gonna forget, which is, good and bad. Mistakes lead to success. You learn from stuff like that, and I can tell you it probably won't happen again, I hope.
Clean your shit.
Yeah, muzzle it, whether the had, some
Right.
some bad powder or bad primer or whatever it was, we're going to try and do everything we can going from, here on out to not.
I mean, muzzleloaders especially, the littlest bit of gunpowder can have a misfire, and then you spine a deer or cripple it, and then it runs off, and it's...
Yeah. No, that's it. And so that definitely will be, whew. I can literally just see it right now in my head, and it's, that was something.
I mean, I remember the phone call of y'all headed back from Kansas.
That was the quietest truck ride. I'm not shitting you.
I bet it was like a Friday night. You just got your ass beat under the lights.
Yes. We drove 7 hours home, never turned the radio on. I bet we probably said 2 words other than
the phone call.
Other than turn here. Yep, take this exit. Like there was, because the biggest thing was there was nothing.
Because that happened on a Saturday night.
Yes.
Saturday evening.
Yes, and we were coming home Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, last day of whatever 8 or 9 days we were there. Mm-hmm. Only shooter that we really had, and
yeah, because I know y'all said y'all should have brought your shotguns because how many doves were out there?
Yeah,
like
dude.
Y'all were bored.
Yeah, I will bring my shotgun next year.
I don't know how many times you said, I'm just gonna go buy a shotgun right now.
I did almost buy one. We were in a little antique shop out there, and the people were so cool in this little town. And we walk in this little secondhand shop, and dude, I called you because they had them antique goose decoys.
Yeah.
We didn't end up buying them. I wish I would have now, so we could have hung them up somewhere. But they had a little, it looked like someone sawed the barrel off of it, like just a super old whatever shotgun. They wanted like $300 for it, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy it and just go shoot some doves with it.
Dude,
but
you could have shot like 20.
Yeah, we never end up buying it, but that whole trip, even though we didn't kill nothing, that's gonna be burned in my memory for forever. Dude, I could have dementia and I won't forget looking at that deer.
That'll be a rough life.
Yeah. Terrible, ain't it? But no, yeah, like we talked before, I think we've.
False.
Well,
you're
I'm sure
gonna have dementia, but you're gonna remember Shay.
Yeah. And that 200 incher. No, but I think that's, going back to the trophy stuff and, bow hunting, that's one of the greatest parts is I think everybody's made undoubtedly has made massive mistakes bow hunting. And if you whether you've lost a deer or hit one and couldn't find it or, whatever it is, picked up your bow when you shouldn't have, it's all, it all adds into that, whatever you want to call it, when you find success, it just adds to that adrenaline dump you get and like how special that moment actually is. And, me and Landon especially, I couldn't tell you. Well, I literally messaged the Missouri Woods and Water guys one time about doing a podcast about mistakes and failures. I was like, we hunted like 4 years in a row where we'd either, miss range deer, missed them, or like we literally failed so many times. There was times where we sat there and we were like, dude, we're fucking giving up filming. Like this sucks. Everything just goes wrong every time. But, now that we made so many mistakes in them years, it's really led to how much success we've had in the last, whatever, call it three or 4 years, where we've been on a pretty solid roll now. And, it honestly, you learn more from them mistakes than you do from the successes. And that's really what's made us, so successful these past couple of years on staying on, good deer.
Well, and when you actually find success, you don't think about all those mistakes that you made. Right. You do, but your success and your adrenaline just takes over, and this is why we do it this way. access and food and
But I mean, Deuce this year was probably one of the first times I can say we flawlessly executed a plan, and we some obviously sometimes hunting random stuff happens, but it's like Deuce. I told Spencer at the truck, I said he's bedded up here where we got pictures of him last year. I said he's going to walk in straight in behind us, and we're probably going to kill him. And that's exactly what he did. And so it honestly felt good just to know that we had figured him out, and we knew, there was probably an 80 or 90% chance we were going to kill that deer that night, just because I pretty well knew what his pattern was and what he was going to do. And I mean, it was October 7th. So was he still on a bed to food pattern? I mean, I'm going to say yes and no. He was kind of in the process of switching sides of the farms, but he was still on that little bit of a more pattern where we could, figure out more what he was doing. But it, I don't even know where I'm going with it really, other than, that was just one of the times that I really felt like we accomplished like what we set out to do.
Mm-hmm.
Had the wind been right for that stand, would have blown him out.
Oh, 100%. Had we actually hunted that stand with the wind that we needed to hunt that stand, yeah, we would have blown him out 100%.
Like there was a 90% chance that if a deer was going to come in, it was only going to be him. Like we were going to blow everything else out.
Yeah.
Because wherever all the other deer come from, that's the way the wind was blowing.
Yeah.
And it was
it was him or bust. Realistically it was. I mean, it worked. It paid off. It worked out. Not every time does it work like that, but it just seems like we, and that's with the help of, obviously, we'll have to do a whole episode on trail cameras, because the last couple of years we've absolutely fucking dialed in trail cameras, and it's something a lot of people don't do, but I'm telling you right now, it'll increase your success tenfold. We break down every single farm, every single deer into folders. They're organized by date. They got weather patterns on them to when they daylighted, what it was when he switched this, he switched to this side of the farm this time of year. And we go through every single trail camera, which how our reconnaissances are. They're set on 3 pictures for,
every 10 seconds.
We look through, I'm going to tell you, we look through 1 million trail cam pictures, pretty easily in a year. And
between all of us.
Yeah, between all of us, we probably are pushing that, 500,000, 750,000 pictures a year. And we go through every single one of them, and file them away exactly how they need to be filed. And we can go back and look at every single picture and say, okay, some deer don't have patterns. The Fine 9, no pattern. He just randomly did, I don't care however many pictures of him we had for, that stretch of 3 years, he had no pattern, no rhyme or reason why he would show up here, here, here. We could never put anything together until I killed Deuce, and then he started patterning a little more, and that was the deciding factor of.
And you guys didn't run any cell cameras, right?
No cell cams this year at all up there. It was all
because they were all on your farm.
No, it was all just previous history is what we were going off of, and so theoretically we were proving that trail cam strategy. It's no secret that's literally what Mark Jury does. He looks through, I think it's 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours at night. He goes through all his trail cam is when he gets his trail cam data sent in, and he files every single picture. Like, obviously I'm not saying all 22,000, if we pull a card and it's got 22,000 pictures, I'm not saying we file 22,000 pictures away, but if we get a picture of, call it whatever, target buck, Deuce, or the Fine 9 or curls, whatever it is, it's filed away into a folder. So, some folders have 10,000 pictures in them. Some folders have 5 pictures in them, but it all builds that pattern to be able to hunt it for next year. And I've listened to Mark talk, whatever, X number of podcasts and just their shows. And if you pick up on anything, it's how close that they have the bedding to food to get them into that daylight hour, and then going off of the trail cam history. And that's kind of what we've implemented. And we're obviously on a pretty hot streak of killing big deer over like it. you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's been a big step forward for us was taking that extra time to get the trail cameras dialed in to where, to where they needed to be. And it's so not that it's super frustrating, but we go to these different farms, and Max is finally starting to to adopt that as well. Like, we'll get his cards, we file all his pictures away into his farms, and it's really helping him put patterns together on stuff. And he's slowly getting. The only cameras we trust is Reconyx. Like,
Right.
obviously not sponsored by them, probably never will be sponsored by them, but there's not a fucking better camera on the market than a Reconyx. We put them under any cell cam, and it seems like the Reconyx always does better than any camera we've ever had. They're expensive, but they're worth it.
That's what I was about to say, is like, to make it a whole lot easier on yourself to do that patterning stuff, you need to have reliable equipment.
Yeah, you got to have the
Like,
yeah. Like I said, they're expensive, but for the time and money that we put into, whether it's food plots, hanging stands, whatever you want to call it, I'm not going to cheap out on some shit ass $30 cameras from Walmart or where the fuck you're going to buy them at, and go and check them and they don't work.
Well, I mean, and if you honestly put, so say you buy a cell camera, they're averaging, other than Reconyx, they're averaging $150 to $200.
Right.
That range of what they say is a good cell camera. By the time you add your yearly, like your monthly fee on top of that camera bill, you could buy a Reconyx.
same with
Right.
batteries, SD cards.
And I don't know what it is, if it's just my cameras or what it is, but you can get, say, 22,000 pictures on a Reconyx on your cellular camera with the firmware. I know that's not full,
Right.
but
Yeah.
like on a cellular camera, after you add the firmware and any updates, that card with the same SD card will cap out at 5,000 pictures or maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I know it's excessive, but even in the summer, we have them on, call it a rapid fire, as fast as it'll take pictures when there's deer there. And we pulled cards in the summer before, and one food plot had 40,000 pictures on it. Takes a long time to go through 40,000 pictures, but even in the summer. But it honestly.
But you would rather go through 40,000 pictures.
Yeah, at least I
than
know I have pictures than
5,000 of, you say you put two cameras on the same tree. The Reconyx takes a picture of Deuce. The cell camera may never ever pick him up.
No, we were having that. Obviously all the cell cams we used were Tacticams, but we were having that problem where we would have a Reconyx under the Tacticams, and we were getting pictures on the Reconyx that we were never getting sent, and they were never on the SD card of our Tacticams. And I like our Tacticams. All the ones we run, it seems like they work really well. And I'm not going to lie to you. There's definitely times where cell cams, we could have killed deer just by looking at them, saying, well, he was there last night. We're going to hunt, in the morning, or we're going to hunt tomorrow night. He was there last night. But it's almost no different. Deer are so patternable, most of them anyways. It's almost no different. If like Deuce, so when I killed him this year down there, he daylighted that same day down there last year.
Mm-hmm.
We were sitting up at Colton stand, obviously, but there's year to year wise. I've heard it time and time again, and I've seen it. We'll have deer show up. Well, the deer that just showed up on your guys' place, that deer was nowhere until late season, and he shows up. Obviously he's give him a couple week range, but we've had deer show up to the day, almost to the hour before.
Mm-hmm.
So,
file your card or
Yeah.
file your pictures.
yeah, it definitely helps. It's been major game changer for us.
Yeah. Now we don't run the Reconyx cellular cameras because they're about $600 a pop.
I'd like to buy one. See how they are. Cole loves his. He said with the solar panels on them, they run forever.
Yeah, AA lithium batteries are 14, 76 a 4-pack.
Yeah, dude, so expensive.
But
I don't know.
they
I'd
last so much longer.
yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous how long they last compared to
Yeah,
your other, like, I think, what are they called?
alkaline.
Oh, dude, there's some Reconyxes that we got that'll run all year on a, obviously it's $50, $55, $60, whatever it is to fill up the,
the 12 or the camera.
yeah, the
for 12
camera. But
batteries.
I mean, like say the camera we have on the pond, or whether we put it on where we know there's going to be a scrape. Hell, we'll put it out July and pick it up in March in shed season, and it's still running over 80% battery.
Well, I mean, that's because you got your period where they're there and they're not.
Right.
So I mean, it's not like you're putting it on, your food plot where there's deer in there all the time, no matter what it is.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, even like we'll change batteries. I don't know. I'm gonna say we get 50,000 pictures, all the way from 50 to 70,000 pictures before we change batteries on most of them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I just bought. I have six now,
6 of them. Yeah.
and
You can find, obviously brand new, whatever. Yeah, $400. They're expensive. Get Facebook Marketplace. People sell them used all the time. Most people don't even know what they have. They get them for gifts or something. We were buying them off Marketplace for $150 a camera.
yeah, which the ones I bought
New,
were
like brand new in the box. $200, $220 at most. No brainer.
yeah. Which luckily I found a guy that has quite a few of them, and
right.
he said, yeah, we'll work a deal out, and
We need a sneeze button.
Achoo. You good?
Continue.
And yeah, he was fortunate enough to take it off Marketplace and sell them as I could buy them, and
Right.
he said I'd rather them go to someone that will take them than take them and use them for the same reason that I had them, and
Sure. Yeah.
he uses a Wise Eyes now, which I heard was a pretty good camera.
Don't you have some of them? The
Really?
Wise Eyes?
No.
No. What was the brand that you had? They did decent. It seemed like. Didn't you have that?
I have Cabela's. I have a couple of Cabela's. I got some cheap ones.
Yeah.
Some
I
Tascos.
don't know.
Adam
I mean,
runs
these
some
are
of
like-
those.
And don't get me wrong. I mean, there's people who aren't as serious of, I got buddies that, I mean, I don't give a shit what cameras they run. They're not that serious about hunting like we are. I mean, we live, breathe, fucking eat and shit deer hunting. But they, they just, they may go a couple times a year and they're running whatever them $30 cameras. And, obviously they work halfway decent for what they need them for. But just for our needs, no, I won't.
I mean, since you all shown me the Reconyxes,
Dude,
I'm tempted to throw my other ones out the damn window.
We've given, not that we've given them away, but I bet you we've given 3 or 4 people a Reconyx just to put out, whether it's in turkey season, so we could get some, strutting pictures, or, we have an extra one, so we throw it out on your farm or whatever it is. And every single person says the same thing. Dude, none of my fucking cameras worked, but I came back and the only camera that worked is the Reconyx. Like, this is the best camera ever.
Like, we put them, I think we put those 3 out in August.
Yeah.
And last time I went back was a couple weeks ago. They still
rolling.
battery.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they're the shit.
Like I said, we're not sponsored, but
No.
would be nice one day.
Yeah, but I won't. I mean, I believe pretty well everything we run. Even like the companies that we've worked for, I've never, if we don't use it or believe in it, I'm not fucking using it. I'm not using shit that, whatever. I put my fucking heart and soul into deer hunting, and I'm not using a cheap piece of equipment just because, I was,
Yeah.
whatever. That's
Just trying to show off their stuff or their equipment that they got, just to give them more of a shout out.
Yeah, we do everything to the absolute, nth degree whenever we do stuff. I'm not.
When did you guys start using trail cameras? I didn't start using mine till probably.
Dude, that's a good question. That's a good question.
I didn't start using them till
late. The coolest thing was whenever Dad and them hunted, they never, like, Dad had the original film cameras that took the 35 millimeter film, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I got them at the house. I'll have to bring them in and show you guys. So back when he hunted next to Grandpa's farm, they used to go and develop the they developed the film. So he would have to wait to get his pictures back, and they were like you were looking at a picture album,
Right.
with the
Yeah.
developed pictures. So they would look through them or whatever, and we have pictures of like some, they were big deer, 155, 165 inch deer that he had pictures of back in like 2000, like the early 2001, whenever he was getting pictures of big deer on the film cameras. And then whatever,
But they also came with like giant. Did they come with like giant battery packs and stuff too?
No, they took D batteries. I think it was literally like almost like a camera that you just click up and click. Had a flash on it and everything. So
did y'all use any of the cutty backs, like whenever they were?
Yeah.
starting
So
to kind of start out.
So
Oh,
so while Spencer's getting it, after that, they kind of stopped using them, and they come out with the Spencer, is yours the black one?
It's the Moultrie.
Yes. So we had the same one, and it had a big flash on it. Yes, them big Moultrie flash cameras, and they took
size of a clipboard.
They took D batteries, and so we used to run a couple of them when we were young. Whenever, 7, 8 years old. Oh, dude, that's so cool.
And, the one thing that I really liked about that camera, especially
The laser infrared.
the laser.
Yes.
Because you could literally turn it on the laser and it would show you exactly where the sensor was.
Yep.
Should run this.
Well, me and Landon did up till last year. So in the backyard of our house, Grandpa lives right next door to us. So he gets up a lot in the middle of the night, and we used to have that camera just below the house. Well, he would get up different times at night, and he would see the camera flash, and he's like, "Oh, what the hell?" So he got to where he would watch down there, and the camera would flash. And there was a couple nights he would call. Yeah, obviously he wouldn't wake us up at 2 a.m, but he'd call the next morning and be like, "Hey, you should have seen the buck standing down there behind the house again tonight." Like I seen him. The camera would flash, and I could just see his rack and whatever him standing there. So Dad kind of got us a couple of them when we were real young, but we went from that to running.
Well, they take SD card wise. Did they?
That's a normal SD card.
Yeah,
and
just a big
Okay.
But I mean, we went from that to the little. We ran a lot of the wild games and Moultries for years, and excuse me, that's Landon really kind of initially took over the trail cam stuff. He ran them a lot, and we just showed Dad and whoever else we were hunting with. Oh, we got this, and then once we really started getting into where. Well, I mean, even up to 2 years ago, we didn't have any Reconyxes. We kind of switched over to a lot of the Tacticams. But since we switched over to the Reconyxes, dude, we threw everything in the trash. Like, we had the Cuddy Links for a while, and they worked great. I don't have anything bad to say about the Cuddy Links at all. Well, Rick and Robert, they run, I think combined, they run over 100 of them. And they love them. It works good for them. We just didn't have the service, service on our farm.
My brother, he went out and got one of those spy points. I think.
Fuck,
Tell him to take it
throw
back.
that motherfucker.
No, yeah,
in the trash,
I was like, dude, stop sending me these pictures.
Yeah.
Like,
Throw it
I
in
didn't
the air.
actually say that, but I'm like, damn, these
So-
pictures suck.
Yeah, they were like $90. The Spy Point micro lights or whatever the hell they were. I don't even fucking know. But the Max someone got him one or two of them for Christmas, and he had them out on his farm for a year. And don't get me wrong, I mean, you get a picture of deer, you can obviously tell if it's a big deer, but you can't make out shit on them fuckers. They were.
See, I used to run I would have, back before I got the reveals and Reconyx, I had my wild game cameras, and they made a cell link, which is just a box that you put above. It's kind of like a antenna box.
Connects to your camera.
Yeah.
Really?
And it would send pictures to your phone. Or, well, it'd send to the app or whatever.
Did it work pretty good?
Yeah.
Really?
That's how I had that triple beam buck on camera.
Ah, really?
On the Danny killed. Yeah.
Huh.
And because you can see wild game, and then the top right, you can see cell
Oh,
link.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
And, you can obviously tell the difference between a cellular camera and a non. There's just no comparison.
Oh, yeah, quality wise.
Well,
that's
that
what
and how it affects a deer.
Right. Oh, yeah, right.
Just they can sense that frequency on it, and
I
they don't
definitely think some deer. I mean, some deer I don't really give a shit. But I definitely think some deer kind of know something's up with cell cams.
Landon said the cameras on video mode they make noise.
They do.
That's what he said. But like,
Oh, the reveals.
yeah,
Oh,
because
fuck.
I
I've never
had
noticed
it on
that.
video mode, and I had this. I'd assume he's probably 4.5-year-old.
And they look
Walked in
straight
front
at
of
it.
him, and he's like, "Holy shit, there's a camera there!" And he's like super cautious. He steps back out of frame, and then he keeps walking forward, right in front of the camera, just staring at it.
See, that's what Curls did.
Yeah.
If I turned my cameras on video mode, as soon as it would flash, he would completely just turn and walk away every single time.
But like he was standing there fine, and then the camera turned on, and it was like he was startled. I
Really?
was like, "No."
Well, we have we have one of the Reconics that still has the white flash on it. Dude, them things are pretty badass. Because like at night you get almost daylight. You get a
Yeah, see, yeah, because one of my Tacticams were on video mode. I
yeah
would get like you could see the Reconics doing its thing.
yeah the IR on it. Yeah.
There's like 3 flashes and
Yeah.
shit. I'm like, damn, that's cool.
Yeah. No, that's what our one. I think we just have one of them, and it has that white flash on it still. And I don't know. It seemed like the deer never really cared too much about it at Tabbitt's or Grandpa's farm, anyways.
Mhm.
I don't. We honestly didn't even put a camera over there this year.
Yeah.
Might sound shitty, but
No.
I honestly really need to get one over there because there's always a good deer running around there somewhere.
See, this is an example right here. Watch how this deer reacts. As soon as it turned on, he was
Yeah.
sniffing and he turned on and
Yeah.
he walked away.
I don't know. I mean, there might be some frequency thing to it. I know
that the-
Josh. I mean, obviously we shit on Josh Bomar a lot, but he tried to. Excuse me again. He tried to create a camera like that was low, had the like a lot lower frequency. And obviously, he said they spent a bunch of money trying to do it. And he's like, you can't do it any better than Tacticam's already done it. He's like, they pretty well give away their camera and make money off of the subscription. He's like, it's, they got it figured out, which they do. They're nice cameras, but it's just hard for me to get away from that, pulling the SD cards of the Reconixes, which is what we're going to do in the morning. So pretty excited.
And here's the one I was talking about, Curls. He's as soon as it turned on,
Yeah, he's out of there.
Yeah.
he's gone.
That's
He,
weird.
the only reason, that I think that the
Is that on the blackout? Or
No, you're good. I freaked out. I looked over and seen the mute button on that mic too, but mic 2 is not even.
that was on the
Yeah.
reveal.
the real? Which model?
I think that was the Pro.
Pro? Which ones are the newest ones?
The Pros.
Pro.
They got the screen on
What's
it.
the 2.0?
That's just the so they had the X,
Yeah.
and they had the X 2.0, which was their Gen 2, and then they had the
XB?
XB, which you all have one of those.
I don't
See, I
know.
didn't
We don't have
realize-
any
I
of
didn't
them
realize-
anymore.
Well, you have the XB now.
We do.
No.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Uh,
That's right.
I didn't
No, the
realize the
SK.
XBs were that new. I have the SK. I have 2 SKs.
And does it have the solar panel on the
and
top?
dual
The dual antennas, yeah. And then the Pro came out after that.
Yeah. They
Well,
started just
the
pumping.
Pro has the digital screen on it.
How's that? Is that like you don't have to Bluetooth your phone to it?
You can do it all from the camera now.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty slick.
It is, but then again, you know how you got that red line on it
Yeah.
when you stand back.
Yeah.
How you can't see that on a
Right.
little bitty screen like
Yeah.
that when you're
Because you got to stand off to the side.
when you're
Tell.
10, 15, 20 yards away. You're not going to be able to notice if that line's here or if it's at your waist.
Yeah. See, when I first set out my Tacticams, they weren't taking shit worth pictures, and I didn't know that red line was the issue. I
Yeah.
was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's
Pictures.
that's a trigger mark, I think. Is
Yeah, I think
so.
the
Yeah.
reason that it's there.
I saw something where the top above that is more sensitive than the bottom. So like it'll take pictures of shit above it, but not below it. I don't know. I could be some BS, but
Well, we used to. There might be something to that. We used to set our Tacticams out for turkey season just so we could say, oh, the turkeys, they roosted here, did what we knew where they come through at. And there was times where we would watch the turkeys like walk up, we'd be sitting there scouting, we watch them roost, and we're like, oh yeah, I should get pictures of them any minute. No pictures of them.
yeah.
Our cameras.
I mean that's kind of.
We had them placed,
Yeah.
whatever. We place our cameras low, low even today, but we had them low, but they weren't low enough, so they weren't picking up the damn turkeys. But
You were talking about doing a podcast about
trail camera.
cameras.
And here we go.
Doing it right now.
Yeah, I know.
We could still
We
go
just
on
got
and
off.
on
Yeah,
and
I was
on.
gonna say we could go on and on about trail cameras. They're,
I mean, Landon, I'd say he knows.
Yeah,
a
I was
whole
gonna say
different
he
aspect
goes
of it
through
all,
he
so-
goes through majority of the pictures. Obviously, I mean that's kind of what he really enjoys doing. But
Yeah.
I just know, obviously, on the whole tangent we went down, the moral of the story, whatever, the filing away our pictures like we've done on a hard drive has been, a saving grace as
I mean,
far
I've
as.
seen your all's bedroom. There's SD cards everywhere.
Yeah, we got like 100 SD cards and one big hard drive for trail cam pictures.
Those aren't even the ones in the carrying case.
Yeah, I know, dude. We got.
That's because they probably can't use them anymore because they're
Right.
not. They're right.
We used to call it retiring cards.
Yeah.
So, we'd have cards where whether they stopped working or, we had cards fill up where we had this one certain deer on it that was, mega giant or whatever, and we'd go, you know what? We'd say, let's just retire this card, and we'd literally just put the card away as it was. So we still got cards we can go back through, like, I don't know, 7-8 years ago that we had in cameras, just like we pulled them today. And you can scroll through it and they still have pictures of the big giants on there from back then, which is
Because when
cool.
I first got back in touch with Landon, he started sending me some stuff from back.
Yeah. So
and I was like, damn.
there's a folder on that hard drive that, dude, if someone stole that hard drive or we lost that hard drive, I honestly need to get a copy of it. But there's a folder on that hard drive that's, I don't even know what we have it titled, whether it's just big deer or we always drag a picture of whatever big deer it is into the folder. So thankfully we had SD cards go that, quote unquote, we retired from, early 2000s whenever we had the other trail cameras. So we can go back through and look at them. And I mean, there's hundreds of pictures of, you don't really realize how many big deer you actually get a hunt. Well, I mean, as far as us, I mean, we're extremely fortunate, but until you file it away like that, like you don't realize how many big deer you actually had opportunities to hunt. And that's not even deer that we never had pictures of, that just, happened to roll through the farm, that we seen hunting and never had pictures of. So that's honestly one of my favorite things. Every now and then, Max will call and be like, let's go through some pictures or let's go through old video. And we'll sit in the house for, a couple hours at night and just look through some old pictures and just, every time you see it, you just want to freak out all over again. So that's definitely one of the coolest things that's come with filing away them pictures.
Yeah, we'll have to do a trail cam podcast.
Yeah, no, we'll have to do a whole one once we get Landon and everyone else around here, because I know he could talk for a long time about, he's the one who majority.
He could probably come in here by himself and record it.
Oh, yeah, for 7 hours.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, we're rolling up on an hour and 40 minutes, so what do you say we go ahead and wrap her up?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, we got to get up early in the morning, head to the farm, try and get some late season stuff figured out. But it's Friday the 22nd. Season's winding down, and we're just slowly trying to figure out. What do you got here?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I see. No, we're just trying to slowly figure out what deer have made it through season, what deer hasn't. Kind of get some inventory of late season. Might try and jump on one with the muzzleloader. Other than that, we're going to be starting to switch over and start shooting some geese and
Getting ready for turkey season.
getting ready for do some farm work, turn some farms around.
I'm gonna have to go with y'all one time. Shoot some geese and duck or whatever. I've never
We
been.
can on Charlie's.
Yeah, we'll go over to Charlie's and shoot them up. No, you'll have to go with us one time, because you do it one time and you really find not a new passion, but you find a new love for, like, obviously we could do a whole podcast on it too, and we will
here
but
soon.
Yeah.
I think you'll like it a lot more than you ever thought you would.
Yeah.
Well, because right now I'm like, oh, look at those stupid geese flying up in the air.
Yeah, no. After you go hunting the first time, you're gonna notice every goose in the air, everywhere. Like,
Oh, I talked shit on bird hunting for years until I actually did it. And I was like, damn, I fucking go back and I look at myself. I'm like, you're a fucking dumbass for not trying it earlier. But
I mean, you gotta have the equipment.
Yeah,
and
that's
don't
it.
really make that stuff
It's-
very affordable.
it takes
I mean, they
either-
do, but
it takes either knowing the right people or having the equipment. And both of them are extremely tough in Missouri.
yeah.
So a lot of opportunity around here. It's just whether you jump on the opportunity or meet the people to have that opportunity. But yeah, I just want to, give a quick shout out to everybody that really helps us, move along, whether they're watching our videos, following us, Triple Beam Outdoors on everything, the Main Beam podcast on Spotify. Shout out to Hurricane Marsh. They're super big supporters of ours, always, pumping us up and everything like that. HLRBO Hunting Lease Company, we do a lot of work with. Super cool people over there. If you're looking for hunt and lease, they have, I think they have hunt and leases in like all 49 states. I mean, they got the biggest hunt and lease network around, so check them out. But other than that, we're going to wrap this one up. You'll probably be hearing this first of the year. We got some pretty cool guests lined up for 2024, some big things in the works. I think the first actual in-studio guest of 2024 is going to be Cole McBride. He's going to come on and tell a story of a
Droppy.
216-inch mega giant. So
Was it that big? I thought it was two.
I think it was 216.
He'll tell us about it.
He'll tell us all about it. So look, you got that to look forward to. Other than that, make sure you go wrap your tag around the main beam. Peace out, everybody.